People ask me from time to time why I started Get Handles Basketball, and I want to give you guys a change of pace type video and break down where Get Handles came from, how it got started, how it got to be where it is today. One of the biggest basketball training channels on YouTube. Obviously, you guys are a big part of that, but I want to kind of give you guys like the origin story, where this all came from, where I came from, and you guys can kind of understand what I'm trying to do and going forward, how I'm trying to help you guys and what my goals are for myself and for you guys. So Get Handles Basketball. It originally was not Get Handles Basketball. It started as just me playing basketball and putting videos on YouTube, more like the street ball. I used to do more of the street ball freestyle stuff, and my nickname is, well, I guess still is Snake. Was more Snake. I don't go by it too much anymore, but if you watch my old YouTube stuff, you'll see kind of embarrassing videos in my basement, some cool trick videos and stuff like that, and that's kind of more where my head was at the time. But to go back a little bit further to kind of really help you understand where Get Handles came from, you got to go even before that. I was the kind of player that I was really bad at basketball. I sat on the bench. It was pretty embarrassing, still kind of embarrassing to this day. I didn't get much playing time. There was games where we got to a championship game once. The game before the championship game, I didn't play a single second. And the coach told me, he's like, next game you're starting. And he was doing it, I could tell, kind of out of like pity, which is like the worst way to start in a game, right? So I was not a very good basketball player. I was always a little bit shorter, a little bit scrawnier. Sophomore and junior year of high school, and then all the way through senior year, I grew like 9 inches. I was like 5'3" sophomore year. By my senior year, I was like 5'11". Most of that came between sophomore and junior year, which obviously helped on the basketball court. And it was also around that time I started taking my training a lot more seriously, my practice. But I wasn't playing high school basketball. I actually quit middle in my sophomore year. Shortly after high school, about 2 years after high school, I really got back into basketball. Like I was kind of still into it after high school, but after high school, I got into basketball hardcore from watching the Nike freestyle commercials, which if you don't remember that, was the one where it's like, boom, 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 boom. And that was like the commercial. They were doing like tricks and all that, this kind of crazy tricks and stuff like this. And that really attracted me. I was like, wow, this stuff's crazy. And they were doing it like all on beat and to the rhythm. And then what really lit a fire under me was my first And One mixtape, the Ball Access Tour mixtape. So if you don't know what that's about, a lot of you guys know of Professor. He kind of came into that near the last few years that was around, about 2-3 years that it was around, maybe a little bit longer, but it was around about 5-6 years before he got on the tour, and there was guys like Hot Sauce, AO, Skip to My Lou, of course, NBA legend Rafer Alston, more of a street ball legend, I guess, but made the NBA. A lot of those guys, and it just really built my passion for basketball handling, like especially ball handling. Like, wow, these guys are just doing insane things on defenders I never thought I would see in my life. And I was just wowed, and I was hooked on the street ball side of things. So for the next few years, I kind of was doing street ball stuff, and I started putting stuff on YouTube because I saw this guy. He put a tutorial of all these street ball tricks, a couple of different people actually. I'm like, man, I think I can make a tutorial as good as those guys, maybe even better. Let me try this stuff out. And my first couple ones did pretty good, and then I had one that really hit it big. I believe it was Breakdown Moves 1. I'll link to that at the end of the video. Me getting to that level came from me training. I had a rule, and I'm gonna post another video at the end of this, that I had to dribble for at least an hour a day. I work on my ball handling, my tricks, my dribbling, anything ball handling related for an hour a day, every single day, and I did that for at least a year. I think I did it for closer to like 2-3 years, but I'll link you to the video that talks more about that. And that's where a lot of my ball handling came from. At that point now, I'm getting a lot of views on YouTube. I'm starting to get more recognition and stuff like that, getting a lot of subscribers. And I ended up doing a couple different like events. I ended up meeting one of the main guys from the Nike freestyle commercial, Luis Da Silva. His nickname was Tricks, and he was like saying, oh yeah, I've been checking out your stuff, and he had me do a couple events for him. I was really creative with the street ball side of things, so I came up with a couple tricks, and he started doing some of my tricks, and I was like, whoa, like this was this dude on these TV commercials, and he's doing my moves now, like that's crazy. Like a year or two later, I met up with Hot Sauce at a couple different events, and the first time I met him, he's like, yeah, I've been checking out your stuff on YouTube, and I'm like, Hot Sauce, like at the time, was like probably the most famous street baller in the world, or at least about neck and neck with Professor. Professor was probably not quite as popular at that time yet. So I was just like, wow.
Logan was the greatest freestyler in the world, my man Snake. I always represent everywhere he go. I've been checking him out for at least 3 years, man. He's been doing this thing all day long to support Hot Sauce.
Things were going crazy at this time. Got featured from the recognition on my YouTube channel on an NBA commercial with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. I've worked with a couple other NBA guys at their camps and things like that as well. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting all these views, I'm getting these subscribers, I'm helping a lot of people with these tutorials. This is awesome. Like, I'm doing what I like and getting recognition for it, and I'm helping a lot of people. But I still couldn't do it as much as I wanted to. I wanted to do a lot more YouTube videos for you guys like I am now. I wanted to be able to make it a full-time job, so I had that time so I could help more people, so I could make full programs for people. I decided, at this time I was still snake basketball, not get handles. I decided I'm gonna put up a program, Ultimate Breakdown Moves. Some of you guys might know of this, and I'm gonna try to sell it on my website. So I tried to sell it on my website. I sold a few here and there, but I was still working my 9 to 5. It wasn't really enough to make a full-time income. And if you guys don't know, like I think some people think you get rich off of YouTube money. No, like that wasn't even close enough to make a full-time living, not even a part-time living. So between selling programs and YouTube, like it wasn't even close to where I needed to be. So I ended up getting in contact with a guy named Adam Linkenauger. Shout out to you if you're watching this, and you guys probably also know Coach Rocky. So those guys are partnered with I Love Basketball TV, and they helped me out with trying to figure out how to make the business side better so I could make it a full-time job. And literally within like a month and a half, 2 months, they got me to that point. I was making full-time income with basketball, and at that time is when I transitioned into a more fundamental side of things, because I realized I could help more people that way and still do a little bit of the freestyle street ball stuff on the side. But that's where things became Get Handles Basketball. And through being able to make it a full-time thing, as you guys can see, I'm uploading a ton more videos on YouTube to help you guys, putting out more programs, and because of that, I've been able to help a lot more people. Things have really got crazy over the last 2-3 years. I've been having kids coming over from a little Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, which if you don't know, look it up on Google. It's a little city from all over, from New York, from Alabama, California, Canada, coming here to train and work out in the summers and helping them improve. And I've been able to reach people in the Philippines, in Australia, name the country. My goal going forward with Get Handles, and where Get Handles came from though, and going more to the fundamental side of things, is it took me back to where I was the kid on the bench, where I was the kid that didn't play at all. And I can completely relate to a lot of kids out there that maybe if you're on the bench and you're not getting the playing time you want and you don't know how to practice to get better, because I found there was a lot of things like professionals out there would tell me to do things and I would spend hours on them, not see results. Some of the things I would learn from my coach I would do for hours and I wouldn't see results. And it was through a lot of things I figured out on my own, and the drills I came up with on my own, and then certain ones I handpicked from here and there that I found worked, that I found from different gurus and things like that, and Pistol Pete and watching different NBA guys. That's where I got a lot of my improvement. So that's my goal with Get Handles, is to give you guys the good stuff, to give you the stuff that's actually going to help you improve, so you can be the kid, if you're on the bench, to get off the bench. So if you're the kid that's maybe getting playing time but not as much as you feel like you deserve or you want, you know how to get there to get better to the point where your coach has to play you. If you're the kid that has college aspirations, professional basketball aspirations, NBA superstar, MVP status aspirations, you can get there. That's my goal with Get Handles, is to get as many people as I can into the NBA, playing pro, playing WNBA, getting into college, getting to that next level. This little journey that I went on, I hope shows you why I'm doing what I'm doing, where it came from, where I want to go with it, and to be like the kid on the bench, grinding hard, getting somewhere with basketball, and showing you guys, look, you can do the same. Even if you guys don't make pro, like I'm an example of like being the guy that's not very good, terrible actually, in a small town where everyone usually plays, because in small towns there's like just enough kids to fill the roster. So if you're not playing, there's probably something pretty bad about your game. So if I can do that, you guys can definitely do that. And that's my goal, is for every one of you guys that watches these videos to be able to do that. So hopefully this resonated with you guys. I know this is a little bit of a change of pace type video, but I just want to kind of break down where everything came from for you, and hopefully maybe connect with you guys a little bit on a little bit deeper levels, because maybe some of you guys understand where I'm coming from, because I definitely know what that's like. And I want you guys to know that if you're not, feeling like you're up to the ability you could be, or you're not getting the playing time you could be, I've been there too, so I can relate to you. Here's that first video that I told you that blew up, the Breakdown Moves 1 video, and then this is the video about me dribbling an hour every single day and what it did for my handles. If you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know if you can relate, and I'll see you in one of those videos.